So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. Oh, we have another phenomenal show lined up for you tonight. We get to have some fun because it is going to be open call night. That's right, for anyone that wants to join me on camera. I'm going to be putting a link in the comment section here momentarily, and you can join me right here on this show. And tonight, we are going to talk about the importance of live video in your business. And so I'd love to have folks join me here live on camera. That's right. So if you're not ready and you're watching right now, go ahead, comb that hair, dab on the makeup, whatever it takes, get the lighting going, and then jump on and let me know in the comments if you're ready and you want to join. Then I will send out that link and you can join with me. I love talking about live video shows because that's what I do. It's the very nature of what I love doing, which is speaking from stage, doing things live, interacting with individuals, helping people to get to the next stage. And that truly is what the Mind, Body, Business Show is all about. It is about helping you, the entrepreneur, the business person, to get the clues, to get the secrets for success, for getting you to that next level faster without all of the effort, trial and error, all the things that go with trying to do it all on your own. And normally, typically, what I do is I interview successful individuals on this show from all over the world. And we're talking about people from literally all over the world, England, Switzerland. I've interviewed a gentleman on the ocean in his yacht. And interesting, yes, Gabriella Fisher, welcome to the show. How funny. I just finished doing a commercial for my business. I guess I have to consider live videos too. Yeah, it's a great thing to do, Gabriella, and I highly recommend it. Been doing this now for this particular show for 4 years. And prior to that, over 10 years ago, I did a live video show. That's right. I know you're thinking 10 years ago, no way. There was no such thing as Facebook Live. There wasn't even Periscope, if any of you remember that. There was no Twitter Live. There was no LinkedIn Live, no YouTube Live, none of that. There were Ustream and Livestream, and that was it. And over 10 years ago, a partner of mine and I, we did a show for about 2 years. And it was a lot harder than it is today. And so big proponent of doing live shows. Gabriella Fisher, you're asking what part of the world am I? I am in Southern California at the moment, soon to relocate to Florida. How about yourself? And if you'd like to join, Gabriella, let me know. Join on camera if you're ready, if you're prepared. Have a little chat about live video. Maybe you have questions. We can just do an open Q&A. This is an open slot. What happened? Torrance, oh my goodness. You are a neighbor of mine, Torrance, California. All right, not too far away. I'm up in Lancaster, just north of you, a little bit. Okay, no worries. She's not able to join live. That's cool. And that's fine. I'm going to open it up to everybody who wants to join in, have a chat, ask questions, offer input if you are a actual live streamer yourself. I will take anybody and everybody with a heartbeat that loves to talk about and wants to know more about or wants to contribute on the topic of live video and doing live video shows. It has been an unbelievable journey, and it has been extremely fruitful for me personally. And what is going on here tonight? Many of you are probably thinking, where's Josh? I was supposed to have a guest come on. The individual reached out to me and said that their internet was down and there were no options. And I totally get that. That happens. Technology gets in the way sometimes. We will have him on, definitely. I really was looking forward to interviewing him. And we will definitely get him back on at a future date for sure. And it won't be too long from now, maybe a couple of weeks when we have an opening. And so in lieu of that, one of the tips that I like to give all the time to my clients and on. I have a advanced live video masterclass that I put on about once a month or so. And there are many tips and tricks in doing this. I've been doing this for so long now, over a decade in duration, and I've learned a lot in that time. And one thing is you want to be prepared and have something as a backup for a show if you do have a no-show. I highly recommend interview style shows, number one. So it's not just one person like you see now, a talking head, I call it. And you have interaction with another individual who is in the same space. You want to make sure that the guests that you bring on your show are pertinent, are relevant to the topic of the show you are hosting. So it's your show. You have a purpose for it, an obvious purpose. What are the topics you want to talk about? And then bring in people that are in alignment with that message that you're looking to get out. That's very important in the beginning. And then when you have someone that goes through an issue, a technology issue in this case, that cannot show, be ready, have a fallback plan, have a backup plan. So I literally put out the call to action to an entire group on Facebook to say, hey, anybody out there that's a live streaming professional that would like to join me live tonight? And I gave them like 5 minutes notice. Well, after I posted it to the Facebook group, it went to the moderator. So it's being moderated. It hasn't even gone through yet. And so I'm going to do that right here to you, anyone who is willing and able and interested in coming on with me live right here, no matter where you're coming from. You let me know in the comments. Just type in the response. If you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube, I believe I will see your message come in. And if you're not on any of those, well, I won't see that message come in. And we'll just have to keep moving. That's just the way we have to roll. But there are many, many advantages. Gabriela, thank you. A great question. Are there any businesses that are more suitable for live streaming compared to others? That's a great question. It truly is something that can be utilized for nearly any business. I mean, if you have a specific example, Gabriela, of something that you're curious if it would work, that would be more beneficial. It's a broad net, meaning live video can help in darn near any industry for anything. And it's a lot easier to bring on and find guests than one might think. I have one individual as a particular example that is in what is called the HVAC industry. And I didn't even know what HVAC stood for. I mean, I knew it was something to do with air conditioning and that, but it's heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Now I know. And it was a very niched thing that this individual was doing. And they were targeting the HVAC owners, like the people who are distributing and installing the HVAC units, not customers who were looking to purchase them. So a much tinier niche. And yes, there is a definite market for that in a live streaming world for sure, because that individual can bring on and interview those owners. That will get them exposure. And it's this individual's business to get them exposure. So it's a perfect match in that case. There are many examples of this. I have another one who is in the coaching industry, more on a spiritual basis, very incredibly cool guy. And yes, it fits with that. I have another individual who runs a neurolinguistic programming center, and she is crushing it with her live video show. So yes, there are many reasons and many businesses that a live video show would fit. Gabriela, you have a notary business and TV. Oh my goodness, TV production. Oh my goodness, yes, absolutely, hands down, especially the latter. The notary business, not so sure. I'd have to have a chat with you to go deeper into that to see exactly what could be extracted from that to turn it into a topic for live video shows. Here's another thing I like to say, and that is, I say this to all my clients, and this is what we do here. And Reach Your Peak, you see the logo up here, is we produce live video shows. We do everything from A to Z for our clients. I mean, everything except for literally showing up like right now and clicking on the go live button, but everything leading up to the show, guest acquisition, graphics, promotion, everything. And then post-show production, including repurposing we repurpose this very show to 35 podcast platforms, the audio only version. So we take the extracted audio, we keep it live, the recording, we do not edit it very much, just the very beginning, very end, just so there's no silence on the end, there's no countdown timer in the beginning, those kind of things. And we really don't need to clean it up because the people listening know it was recorded live, meaning no recording. We're not going to go back and touch it up. And so we repurpose it everywhere. So it just takes all that effort and onus off of the individual hosting the show. Now they can just be the talent and be present and really crush it. And I know I just done this from experience because I've done this for, like I said, 10 years, not all through every year of those 10 years, but this particular show you're watching right now, over 4 years in the running, and a prior show around 2 years. So 6 years in total of actual broadcasting live. Yes. Thank you, Gabriele. It is awesome. And yeah, if you get to a point where you do have the ability to come online, let me know, Gabriela. This is an hour-long show, and would still love to have you on. I mean, come on, you're a fellow Californian nearby. I'm soon to be. I'm no longer a Californian, but I will still have a warm spot in my heart for all of you. So what I wanted to do is go through a few tips while I wait to see if anyone comes on and see if they want to join me in a live Q&A or a live, maybe contributory stance where you can actually offer some tips of your own if you do live videos already, or if you're a audio only podcaster and you have questions, or even audio only podcaster and you have insights on how to make your podcast and others get greater reach and more results. Let's say, I always say my show is not my business. And so this show, normally I don't sit here and talk about reach your peak. I rarely mention it. I can't even figure out which side it's on. And this is very different than my typical shows where I'm always interviewing a guest expert who is a successful entrepreneur from somewhere in the world. And I'm booked out through July right now of guests. It's a phenomenal thing. I make incredible relationships. So the number one tip I will give for the style of your live video show is to make it interview style, not like you see right now, not just a talking head, but interview style where you have someone that you are interviewing, that you are extracting wisdom and value from in again, the niche that you have chosen. And then you are not there to sell your products or services necessarily. You are there to give value to the audience, but it's in your lane. So what it does, it's very similar. I like to liken it to writing a book in some ways. When you write a book, and I just submitted my first one to the publisher last week. I'm excited. Got my first taste of renditions that are going to be made, variations. And when you have written a book, and if you're talking to somebody and you don't know they've written a book, and then during the course of conversation, they say they've written a book, well, instantly in our minds, their level of authority status just goes up. It goes up either a little or a lot, depending on how impressive that is to you. Now, I know to some of you, it may seem like everybody and their brother is writing a book. Having now done it myself, I understand and realize how much effort, time, and discipline it takes to take it to the finish line. Great example, my book took me a grand total of 10 years to get it to an editor. I was not working on it every day, not even every month of those 10 years. Things were getting in the way, and I finally got back and finished it, took it to the finish line. I don't think it should take anybody 10 years to write a book. It's just that's what it was for me. And now subsequent books, I'm sure, will take much less time now that I've got that figured out and done. But a book, one thing about a book compared to, say, a live video show, if you have a book and you write that book and then you put it up on, say, Amazon, and you put it in bookstores and you put it everywhere, you are getting exposure and you are increasing your authority status. The question would be, by how much? You see, a book, not a lot of people think if you just write a book and you stick it up on Amazon, you're just going to lay back and reap in the income and retire. And that couldn't be farther from the truth unless you're an influencer. Unless you get it into the hands of someone else who is an influencer, who then promotes it, those kind of things. If you have a great publisher, it's rare. It's rare to make a living off of writing a book. And it's rare to get massive exposure off of just writing a book. And so what I always teach people is treat the book more as your calling card, as your business card, than as your income generating vehicle. It will contribute as one component in your whole marketing arsenal toward you earning income, but not necessarily directly from the sales of the book. Just saying you have the book, holding it up and maybe even handing it out for free instead of a business card. That gains you authority status. The thing with a book, though, is you can get international best-selling status in Amazon. And there are strategies for doing that, where you can offer it at pennies on the dollar for a limited period of time. And if you get X number of sales within, I think it's a 2-week period, and I forget what the X is, it's a several thousand, I believe, then Amazon will tag that book as a bestseller. And once you're a bestseller, you're always a bestseller. Now, when that time is over, where you were ramping it up and getting it out there to everybody and their brother for next to nothing as far as money, just to build up the sales. And so Amazon would give you that status. When that is over, you'll be lucky to have very many sales after the fact at all, unless you did a very good job and it gets rave reviews and all that. Again, which is rare. It can happen. It does happen. But the thing is, you can become a bestseller and then you could literally never sell another book from that point forward, but your book will always be a bestseller. Still, again, people are not going to it and digesting the information. People are not going to it and reading it and realizing and recognizing who you are. In other words, you're not getting additional exposure. You're only getting that first bump of exposure, typically, if you're lucky to get that first bump. And then the other part of it is the content of the book. Now, when you write the book and you publish it, have it published, get it out on Amazon, get it into bookstores, well, how many variations of that one book are out there? It's just going to be one at a time. And when somebody picks up the book and opens it, it's going to have the title on it. And every time they open it, it's going to have the same exact content in it. The huge difference between a book and a live video show, there are several. One is that every time you come on live, your content's different. You're going to have a different guest expert. You're going to have maybe a fallback plan like we're doing tonight, and just come up with a topic and be ready and be prepared. But it's a different topic. If it were a book, it's unchanging. You can't change it. It's not dynamic. The paper does not, you can't erase the ink and change the words. You cannot change it. So with live video, and as long as you're consistent and you do it at least once a week, that's what I recommend, you will always have fresh material. And then you're getting exposure far bigger and broader and wider than you ever could with just a book. A book, you can get exposure. And again, it'll be for a limited amount of time, typically during the launch phase. And with a live video show, it's every single time you have a show. This show gets promoted and pushed out to social media platforms, and it goes everywhere. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. It's on YouTube Live right now. It's also on Facebook Live. It's on Twitter Live. It's on Cloud Hub. It's on Twitch. It's everywhere that we could possibly get it to. And it's going out to all these platforms live. And then that video is then, of course, automatically recorded and available after the fact. And so now you have another quote unquote book. In fact, a 1-hour show, which is the typical length of my shows. And that's what I recommend to my clients. Most of them, it's either a half hour, an hour. A 1-hour show, when you have it transcribed and the written word is extracted from the audio, and then you put it in book form, you literally have enough in a 1-hour show for a complete book. So every show is like a full book in content. And then there is the ability to repurpose. So here's the thing about live video versus, say, audio only podcast. So audio only podcast. So podcast is technically a term that equates itself to that, meaning audio only, and it's been recorded. Whether it's been edited or not is not an issue. It's just that it was recorded. It was not an audio broadcast that was done live. That's another key feature there. With live video, two things are different. One, it's live, which means it's going on right now. And the dynamic and the energy and everything about it is a little bit different, because as you're talking to your guest, they understand there's no way we're going to be able to edit this. And I, as the host, I understand that as well. And so you take different care in the way you go about conducting the show, and the guest takes different care in the way they go about answering the questions on the show. And the dynamic, though, is always it's a little bit more, I call it juice. It's just a little bit more because it's live. It's got a higher energy level and excitement to it. And so I always say that live video is the genesis point of all marketing. You can't go any farther on a timeline than live. You cannot go any farther to it's present. You can't it's impossible to do anything. So if you record something, you did that in the past. With live, you're doing it live. You can't start any sooner than live. It's live, or I don't know what that other one would be, but it gives you another point to market. It's another reference point to market. So we are live right now. It's going out. People are watching. People are engaging. That's the other part. Live video enables individuals from the audience to engage, as you've seen so far. Gabriela, she's been putting in lots of comments in here, and I love that. I love engagement. And so by all means, continue to engage and ask questions. And that is another component of live video that is, in my opinion, an improvement over audio only podcasting. And then there is the visual aspect of it, because when you hear someone's voice, you cannot see their face, their facial expressions, their smiles or lack thereof, their frowns, their glee, their passion. There's so many things you cannot infer just from audio alone. And so it adds that to it. And it gives both the host and the guest a quicker amount of time to get to that point of being known, liked, and trusted. You know about the know, like, and trust factor. Yeah, no worries. I get you. Gabriella, she's saying, I wish I could join you. My husband is performing a wedding and I'm at the front desk so they don't get interrupted. That's great. You're being respectful, and that's awesome. Don't worry about it. Keep typing in the comments. I love your questions, Gabriella. It's no problem. So yeah, you want to, the live video component is so much more powerful. That being said, I will tell you right up front, it is a lot more time, effort, and work to put together and produce a live video show than it is just, and I don't mean to demean anybody here, but just a audio only podcast. Audio only podcasts, when done properly, they take a lot of time and effort too. It takes a lot of time to bring on guests, to vet them, to do things like that, and to schedule out your recording times and dates. So one advantage over audio podcasts, I'll give it that, is that since it's recorded, I know of many podcasters who will sit down and do a string of interviews all in one day because they're recorded. They know that if they get tired on either side, that it can be edited and will be edited. And they could literally create a month's worth of podcast content and shows in one sitting, in one day. It's a lot of work still, but they could be done and take the rest of the month off from doing podcasts and just do it all at once. With live, it's like we're seeing right now. We had a no-show due to a technology issue. There was no turning back. It's a live show. Yeah, you should go live no matter what. That means be prepared. I've already talked about that. And so there are the dynamics that go with live video show. It's a lot more complex. All the moving pieces, this very studio I'm doing this from, and I'm talking about the software, not so much my physical studio, and everything that goes with it, the lead up to the show, the making sure the guests are prepared, the making sure that the guest has proper lighting, that they've tested their lighting, that they've tested their microphone, their camera. And you do that during, before the show goes live. I always, this is what I teach my clients, is you go on 30 minutes prior to and have them join you 30 minutes prior to going live. It's video. And so you want to make sure their camera is focused. You want to make sure their lighting is adequate. You want to make sure that if they're in a room that is getting light, natural light from outdoors through a window from the sun, and if your show happens to cross over into the evening hours, you want to make sure they have artificial light turned on and pointing at them, because when the sun goes down, they go dark. They become a dark guest. That's happened to me once, and that's never going to happen again, because I now learned from that. There are all of these little incredibly wonderful details that one must take into account. And that's why so many just steer away from doing live video shows. Either that, or when you go to see them, they're not the top-notch quality that you see, say, like on television and other places, because again, it takes a lot of time and effort to do it, a professionally produced show. And it's not super simple, but it is very achievable. And that's another reason why we started this as an agency model of doing all of that heavy lifting for our clients. It's a high ticket item. And the folks that are our clients, they truly appreciate it because they understand the amount of time and effort it goes into it. Most of them have tried it themselves and said, no more, I don't want to do this anymore. I was that way too. And so There are three major components when it comes to a successful live video show, and I want to touch on that real quick. And why am I moving to Florida? Okay, I'll get to that in a minute, Gabriel. And so, oh my goodness, that's a show in its own right. I just saw a question. I'll put it up on the screen real quick. Gabriel Fisher saying, "Why are you moving to Florida?" I'll get to that in a minute. But the three major components and keys to a successful live video show are: one, quality. It's got to be the utmost in quality. And I always say this because everyone's thinking, well, sheesh, Brian, I don't know if I can afford a DSLR camera at this moment in my business, or the high grade microphone, or an elaborate lighting system, or a powerful computer, or. And I always say, you know what, just get started and do what you can, do everything you can with the resources you currently have. And that includes what you currently have in your possession as far as cameras, mics, and lights, and also your resources, meaning your finances, to get and upgrade those as much as you can within your means. I did not start out with the best. I did not have a DSLR camera when I first started. I have a Sony that's shooting me right now. There are now other cameras on the market that are DSLR quality that don't come anywhere close to costing that amount. Technology has just come racing ahead. It's been phenomenal. So that's one topic. Lighting. I mean, I'm looking around. I have upgraded my studio many times. I mean, this sound dampening material back here, that's real. It's not a green screen, and it's pretty much wallpapered this entire studio. It's my daughter's former bedroom. She hasn't been here for years. I took it over as my office and soundproofed it. Not soundproofed it, but sound deadened it. And so it is now more amenable to doing the live video. And all this talking about live video, one of the things to be very important and clear about is the video, while important because it's conveying the quality of you, your brand. It's associating individuals with you. When they think about you, if they have seen your show, they're going to either remember the quality or the lack thereof in your production. So you want to do everything you can to make it of the utmost in quality. That being said, the most important aspect of any live show still comes down to the audio. If people cannot hear you, then it's not worth anything, because if they just see you moving your mouth and the audio is so bad they can hardly hear you, yeah. So audio is king, and yes, but you want to take equal precaution, if not more, in all the other areas of quality. There's so many things with quality. There's vetting quality guests to be on your show. I have strategies for this. In fact, I have a live video advanced masterclass I mentioned earlier. It's absolutely free. I put it on every month or so, like I mentioned. I'm going to put that in the comments so you can register for free. You can join in. In fact, it's a week from tomorrow, so it'll be a week from Friday. And just for reference, that date will be March 24th. Today is March 16th, 2023, and March 24th at noon Pacific. Even if you can't make it, register, because then we do send the replay out to those who registered. But if you don't register, we don't know who you are, and there's no way we can get it to you. So definitely jump on that, because I will go into greater detail on everything I'm just skirting the surface on right now with you here on this live show. I just want to impart upon you, though, the true sheer power and importance of live video shows. I want to go over so many things, but I started on the three major qualities of, or the three keys to putting on a successful live video show. And again, quality. It's got to be of the utmost quality. And I've always said this: if I could not do this, if I could not make it of the utmost quality, I would not be doing it at all right now. Period. I would not put my name, my face, anything to it. Does that mean it will be perfect? Absolutely not. There's always issues. In fact, when I first opened this show, I had a few glitches in the intro video that started to play. There's always, not always, but there are often some little glitches that go on. But the thing is, do the best you can with what you've got and practice. I've been doing this particular show for over 4 years. I still go through little hiccups now and then, and that's just normal, to be expected, at least for me. And that's the other thing, is to be able to overcome those glitches, to do it calmly. Usually I wouldn't even point it out. I wouldn't even say a word about it and say, oh, look, we had an issue. No, normally you just keep going and act as if it didn't happen, or you can mention it and bring it into the fray and make some humor out of it, but be quick about it and get over it and get on with the main part of your show. Another key factor of the three is in something many people probably wouldn't associate with either podcasting or live video show, and that is this amazing, beautiful thing known as automation. Automation. It is by far and away one of the most important aspects of my live video show. What is being automated right now? Not much. What does that mean? Automation. There are so many pieces that in order to produce a high quality live show, in order to get enough exposure for your guest, I said it for my guest, not for me, for my guest comes first. In order for the repurposing of the post-show production, which is we take every show and we break it into 20 video shorts. I don't know why I did the air quotes. 20, because the 2 is there. 20 video shorts. So 1 minute video snips from this show get craftily extracted from the full-blown 1 hour recorded version of this show, and they get scheduled to be posted over a period of time every week, every show. So that's 20 per show. We go out on 5 platforms, including TikTok, and that makes 100 posts per show after the show's already over. It gets transcribed, and we then put it on our website, where when you click it's a video and it's the written word put together. And when you click the play button, you see the video just like you do now. And beneath it would be a rolling teleprompter that's highlighting the words as both I and the guest are speaking. And yeah, it's a bright, shiny object, but it also is a search engine optimization juggernaut, because every word in this embed code is visible to search engines. And so there are many intangible things that go on behind the scenes of a successful live video show than one might venture to imagine, and even venture to put in that kind of effort to make this all happen. And just so you know, this didn't all happen in an evening or a moment of time of just thinking, oh, I think I'm going to do a live show. I'm going to put all this incredible automation in everything in all this. My podcast occasionally. Yes. Hey, Margot Lovetti. My podcast is audio and video. Occasionally, I would like to do a monologue live stream to recap the podcast. Will this be a waste of time? That's just something you need to test. Margot, would you like to join me right now live on camera? If so, go ahead and type yes, and I will get you the link. This is an open call night. I had a no-show, a guest that did not show up, and I would love to have someone like you to discuss these things and ask these questions verbally with me, and you'll get exposure as a result. This is a unique opportunity. I don't do this very often because I usually don't have a no-show. And as I said earlier, if you missed it, the no-show is simply because the internet went out in their area. That's happened to us. My gosh, we've had a lot of storms, uncharacteristic storms here where I live in the last several months, and we've lost our internet multiple times. Thankfully, never when it was showtime, but we got lucky there. So yeah, let me know if you're open to coming on, Margot, and I will put up the link so you can join me. And it'll take you some moments to get into the studio, and you'll see why. If you've done StreamYard before, they've also got a new feature where you can literally share this live broadcast to your destinations as the guest, up to 2. So if you're open to doing that, Margot, go ahead and let me know. I see you coming in from LinkedIn. I love people from LinkedIn. I love people from everywhere. And LinkedIn is a business centric more than the other social media platforms. And so that's another reason I love it. And so number 2 is automation. So what does the automation buy you? Why is that so important? Well, there's a lot of messaging that I've incorporated into my system personally that goes primarily to the guest who is about to be interviewed on my show. I shouldn't say hardly. If we were to look at it proportionally, 80% of the communication goes to the guest. The other 20 goes to the prospective audience, the people watching live. And so the guest is always the focus. And you'll learn that in the masterclass. Again, if you're watching this live, I'll put that up on the screen. The actual URL I have it in the comments already. I believe I put it in here. I did not. So it's ryp.im/masterclass, ryp.im/masterclass. In fact, I'm going to enter it right now. And that way I'll put it up on the screen. Yeah, I normally have all this stuff ready to rock. This one was a little off the cuff. I do have plenty of material. I'm not worried about being perfect. I'm worried about being authentic. Well, I'm not worried about being authentic either. I just do it. But if you want to learn this at a very deep level, and by the way, for those of you that come on to the masterclass, you get a free gift. There's nothing for sale on it. And so many people are skeptical of that right off the bat. And I understand, and I get that. I'm here to tell you there is nothing for sale. In fact, if you go to the website, you will see testimonial after testimonial of people basically saying that very thing. Let's see if I can get my thing to work. It did it perfectly. So there's actually the website you'll end up on. Again, this nothing for sale on this. This is 100% value for you. It's about a 70-minute advanced live video masterclass. I better update that. And there it is, high quality automation. And there I just gave away the third. So it's a massive exposure. Absolutely. And those are the three things that I always concentrate on when it comes to live videos. And here you'll see people that have attended the live or the advanced live video masterclass, and it goes on for some time. There are quite a number in here that dropped in their testimonial. They were not paid. They were not incentivized. And there you go. You can just go through them there and then register for free. If you can't make it live, don't worry. But look, here it is. If you register, you will get a $100 hotel savings card. These are legitimate and it's electronic. And so I've used this. And so you can get $100 up to $100 off of your next hotel stay. And it's an amazing offer. And you get to use a booking engine that is literally, that gives you deals that are already less than you would find on Trivago and Priceline and the others. So if nothing else, so literally I'm paying you to come be a part of the masterclass, just an incentive, an enticement to get you to come on and to take your business, your message to the next level. I would love to have you. And during the masterclass, for those who stay on to the end, I also incentivize you by giving away a boatload of high value free gifts. These are things I typically only give to my high ticket paying clients. We're talking $30,000 paying clients get these gifts. For those of you that stay on to the end, you get those. This isn't here. I'm not here just to promote the Advanced Live Video Masterclass, but in a way I am, because of the components that make up a successful live video show is what we've been talking about. So yes, automation, that brings in professionalism, because when you have messaging that goes out and it's repeated messaging that goes to your guest, it's already pre-written and you've already had the opportunity to make sure there are no errors. So now you've reduced human error. And so that you have error-free messaging going out. That increases quality. Every little thing you can do to increase quality is what you want to basically attack and do it. It also makes it far more efficient, because you can see there on the screen if you're watching live. In fact, if you're not watching live right now, I would highly encourage you to basically register to watch this live. All we do is announce when we're going live, and we give you the link to directly go to watch us live, so you don't have to go fumbling around and figuring out where the heck was that again. We'll automatically send you an email letting you know that, hey, we're going live and here's the link, come join us. And that way you can do that. So I'll put that in the comments section as well, so you can see that. So there it is, ryp.im/register, ryp.im/register. Yes. And there it is on the screen as well. And so watch this show live, but automation and efficiency is the next thing that automation will get you. And you can see there on the screen that, yeah, your life will be made much simpler by putting forth automation that will achieve what normally could be achieved by not one, but 4 VAs working full time. And this was an observation of a very astute and very successful businessman whom I had on my show some time ago. He literally came to me after the show and said, oh my gosh, we were talking about it, and I told him, yeah, all that's automated. And his jaw dropped. He goes, are you kidding? I said, no. He said, Brian, I swear to you, I think I thought to my bones that you had 4 VAs working for you for all the stuff that was going on that he was seeing on his end and receiving and responding to and everything, because the automated system also tracks their actions to make sure they're going through the processes of preparing for their upcoming appearance, as just one example. And so you're saving massive amount of money. You're saving massive amount of time, as if when you would do it yourself. I used to do everything myself, all of it, no VAs, no help, and very little automation, and it burnt me out. And I did this. You'll learn the story in the master class. But I've been through a lot in this. I've got a lot of experience and background. I know what works, and I also know what doesn't work, and that's just equally as important. And then the third and final major key, because there are many, major key is massive exposure. And that is something I talked about and preluded to earlier in the show. And that is, the pre-show. During the pre-show, we go through all the stages in the Advanced Live Video Masterclass, all 3 stages of pre-show stage, the during show stage, and the post-show stage, and what goes on during each of those. And the pre-show is promotion. There's a promotion going on there, going to all the social media platforms. All of this is automated, by the way. And it has the guest name, their bio, their image that goes out to all these social media platforms, both a day before and then an hour before the show. These all get thrown out to all of these social media platforms. As many as we can hit, we hit them. And then that's just one example. And then it goes out to our list, those who have opted in to say, I want to know when you go live. We send them automatically. An email goes out about 5 minutes prior to going live telling, hey, we're going live. Click this link and we'll see you soon. And so a lot of promotion goes on. That's just scratching the surface. And then when we go live, we have individuals who join us, guests that come on, that will also share the show as we're going on. All right. It's not too late, Margot. Love it. So I am just going to drop it in here where everybody can see it. But if you see it, then I would love to have you on. We've still got plenty of time. Let's see. My goodness, we got 15 minutes. So before we wrap this show, Margot, and wow, I don't think it made it to LinkedIn. So, Margot, let me find it in the banner. There it is. There you go, Margot. If you go to ryp.im/join show, so do it quickly, and then also set up for streaming to your 2 destinations. I can tell you're already on LinkedIn. That might be one, and we'll wrap the show up. I might go a little long on this show and have some fun talking and chatting with you, Margot. This will be a good show. I've never done this before, where I just invite people to jump on that are watching, and this could be a lot of fun. So hope you can join. I'll leave that up for a little while. And massive exposure is the third key, as I said before. And so as you see on the screen on the website, with massive exposure comes added business and more money. Yes, that's what we all are looking for as business owners, is to earn some more money. But in my particular case, money is there to support everything we need as a family and everything that goes with that. It's also important to me to take a good portion of that money, reinvest it, grow and scale the business so we can impact and serve more people in a positive and profound way. All right. So that is the Advanced Live Masterclass, and I wanted to share that with everybody. So I appreciate you hanging in there watching that part. Now we're going to move back over to see if we're all set. There we go. Yeah, and I'll leave that up on the screen for a little bit longer. So, Margot, if you're able to join, I know you're probably scrambling to do it right now. ryp.im/join show will get you on this show. Now, for those of you watching this after the fact, you might be going, hey, I can join the show the next time he comes on. Nope, that's why that link, it's a link shortener. It's only good for this show. And then next show, it will no longer work unless I do it again. All right. So we've got that covered. I'm going to look on another entity. Nope, that's not happening. So, oh, yes. And then another thing I'm asked about when it comes to automation, so many people, I kid you not, have asked me, Brian, you, you have all this automation. In fact, in the Advanced Live Video Masterclass, I also mentioned the fact that I I've been coined and called the automation master by my peers. It's not something I did. It's something that actually a dear friend of mine did, and others have followed suit and said, yeah, he's the automation master. I love automation. I love everything about it. And so I'm often asked, Brian, what do you do for your automation? What kind of tools do you use? And here comes Margot. Love it. I cannot wait. This is going to be a ton of fun. So one moment, Margot. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to have you here. We're going to bring you on right now. Hello, Margot. Love it. How are you doing?
I'm good in yourself.
Ooh, this is awesome. I am doing amazingly well.
I,
Suddenly much better. Look at that. Margot Lovett, podcast producer, host, and instructor. Instructor of what, may I ask?
I teach podcasting.
Ooh, love it.
I just love podcasting. I really, really do. And all the points that you spoke on, Brian, I really agree. Exposure for people, and we can make it so much fun. We really can, while we're doing a whole lot of good.
Absolute. Amen. Yes. Yes. Where are you coming from, Margot?
Southern California, right outside of LA.
Oh my goodness. So you're Torrance. I had another one in here earlier. Yes, so you're my neighbor. How you doing, neighbor?
I'm doing fine. This is really cool, Brian Kelly. This is really, really cool. Wow.
So when you talk podcasting, are you doing audio only or do you do video as well?
No, audio and video, but
Okay.
audio is my wheelhouse. That's what I love to edit and that type of thing.
Ah,
But what you do has really caught my eye. It really, really has. And I tinker with the live streaming, but I love how you are presenting everything today. This is cool.
oh, thank you. I appreciate the feedback. Yeah, and there's so many wonderful benefits to the live video that I touched on earlier. You might not have been on before that, and that's fine. It's just I've been involved in both. I've been a guest of audio only podcasts, and it's more and more becoming a video based platform, and then we just take this and repurpose it into audio only. And the cool thing about it, Margot, is it's already live. We say it many times during the show. So when people are listening on podcasts, they know it's a live broadcast. They know it's recorded. They know that there will be ahs, and imperfections, and maybe even technical glitches. But that's okay. It's raw and authentic. And we've already gotten the permission because they know it's live. And so we repurpose it to audio only podcasts. We go to 35 podcast platforms after the show's over. We do minor editing, the beginning and the end. Get rid of the countdown timer in the beginning and where there's no audio at all, and the very end where there's some silence because we're on a little bit of a delay in the video. And that's it. And then we upload it and we have everything done.
Wow, I love that. I have a question. Your Twitch your overlay, I think, is that called an overlay?
Yeah, there's backgrounds, there's overlays. It's all kinds of.
How do you learn how to do that? Because if when I get into this portion of it, I really do want to present correctly. And you
Yeah.
look fabulous.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's all about, it's just branding. And once you have your brand down, I see you've got a beautiful book that there back there. You've got a powerful voice. You're branding right now in marketing. That's awesome. I'm telling you, she knows what she's doing, everybody. So it's just a powerhouse. And so when you have your branding, your colors, your logos, and all of that ready, you just put this together in a 1080p layout, which is 1920 by 1080 pixels. I know this is getting a little tech, but it's graphics, and you want it to be 1080p minimum, not 720, because that's the high end of the quality that the video is broadcast live as well. And then you position it so that everything will fit when you put the cameras up. So there's some testing and trial and error, and there are a lot of templates out there now. In the beginning, there weren't any, and I just kept tweaking it. And then as far as putting it together, I highly recommend you get a team or someone else to put the graphics together. And the background I have now, I did not create personally. Let's see, could I do it? I don't see that possible. We can see more of it if I put up what I call a splash page right there. There's the background more visible than we see it now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had that done. That's just that background with different elements in different locations. And yeah, when I switched to, say, a website view, then I have another background that allows for more room for the website to appear in the middle. And so Yeah, you just put together different artifacts that work, and then you can have a little bit more of a professional scene switching experience, if so to speak. There still some imperfections on that part, the transitioning, but the platform I'm using right now is called StreamYard. They're getting better and better at all of the higher quality or more professional type aspects of it. It's always been super easy to use. It's always been incredibly what's the word, reliable, all the time. I've used other software solutions that were great, and they looked like it sometimes even better, but they would take my computer down to its knees because all the processing power was coming out of my computer, not from a server that StreamYard running in the cloud, as an example. So learned a lot over the years by taking on all these different platforms, and I'm always looking to see if there's something else, but there's just StreamYard is, and I've been following these guys for a long time, since their inception almost, and I've watched their growth. And I did not jump in and use this immediately, but I did jump in and got an account, knowing that the day would come when I would make the switch, and it happened. And so, always learning, always changing, always refining. Literally put in a new component today of the whole thing. Like when you came on, did you see a button, or do you see a button in the upper right that says something about stream to your destinations? A blue
Uh,
one?
s- yes, stream this to your audience. Yes, I see that.
Yeah.
To the
So
right of it.
literally, you could also take this show that you're a guest on and stream it to your own two social media platforms, like a Facebook and a LinkedIn or whatever you choose. So think about that from a hosting standpoint. Like right now, I am streaming this live to, it's either 10 or 11, I can't remember the exact number, live to that many platforms. And the guest, meaning you, could literally stream it to your own two of your choosing. And then now it's also reaching I see you just did it. Yeah, you're on Facebook.
That is
Just came
so.
in. That's phenomenal. And you could add another one if you have another one, like a LinkedIn or a YouTube channel or Twitter. You see all of them available there. And so
Yes.
this would go live to it's going live to your Facebook channel right now, or Facebook profile, whichever you chose. And you get that much more exposure. Now it's going automatically to the people you're interviewing. Now you're expanding your reach as a host exponentially, even greater. Now think if you get an influencer on your show and they agree to do that. It's like, look out, look out. I've interviewed the great Les Brown. You know who that is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh my. I always bring this up. I love this guy.
Hmm. You got to be
Uh,
hungry.
do you remember I don't know. I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you remember one of his catchphrases is? It's actually,
Maybe Mamie Brown's baby
ah,
boy or
yeah,
something
that's one
like
of them.
that.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah, it's also the title of his show or of his book. It says, "You've got to be hungry." I love his voice. Oh. So
Yeah.
anyway, I didn't this feature you just that you just did, that you sharing to your Facebook, that literally just went live yesterday. It's a
Mm.
brand new feature. If that were available when I interviewed this guy, look out. He's always got hundreds of people watching him live on his own live broadcast. So I know it would also do that. So very powerful feature to get more exposure for you. Now that can't be done on an audio podcast by itself. Again, not anything against audio podcasts at all, because we use them. It's just, I think video adds that extra layer, a big, very powerful extra layer. I can't, I see you nodding right now, and I'm the one talking. If this was an audio podcast, no one would know you're even listening, let alone that
True.
you're nodding in agreement. Or they wouldn't see that big smile on your face when you think of something that you're passionate about, like just then. And all the things that go with video that add that extra juice, I call it. I always say the word juice to the broadcast, whether people are watching it live or not. It just comes through much better with video.
Do you
So
think it adds to that know, like, and trust thing? And do you think that we're in an age where sometimes we want audio and that's fine, but most of the time we do want that in your face, I just want to get to know you type of an experience with the person. What do you think about that?
I don't. I think it's to an individual's preferences. I know I've heard of many people that prefer audio podcasts for the times they're in a vehicle. So they listen to it instead of music or something else. They want to feed their brain, so they'll pull up a podcast. Hopefully, they're not watching a video while driving the car. So there's a perfect place for that. It could be if they have a job and they've got headphones in and they don't want to see it visually when the boss walks by, during lunch, of course. But so yeah, it'd be a matter of preference. And then, the thing I coined a term called carpet bomb marketing, and it really just means saturating the marketplace with your message. Let's see, do I have a graphic of that to kind of make it less imposing sounding? No, I don't have it right up there, but it's basically carpet bombing is a military term. I don't know if you're familiar with that, where in the old days, like you'd see those black and white World War II flicks of a big Stratoforce plane flying by and dropping bombs, lots of them all at once, just falling down. Kind of like I always say, like when a rabbit's walking and it drops its poops. It's the same way, but literally carpet bombing means carpeting the area, saturating the area, the target area. And I just use that as a metaphor. So carpet bomb marketing, saturate the marketplace with your message. And that's my philosophy, is if you can hit another avenue with your message, no matter what format, audio, video, written, then do it. If it's within your reach. So we're on Medium, which is a text only thing. We repurpose this show there. The show gets transcribed when we're done. So it's like having a full book on our website after every show. A 1-hour show is equivalent to 100 plus pages of a book. When you transcribe it, it's unbelievable. It's just, I can't say enough about it. And you could do that part with audio only podcast for sure, the transcription. But we put it on our show, or on our show website, is under the past shows area. For every past guest has their own completely dedicated to them page with the video of our past show that has the written word beneath that highlights in real time as we are talking. So it's a nice shiny toy. But all those written words are naked and visible to search engines. I got that confirmed by a search engine optimization expert buddy of mine. So we're hitting everything we can with all we've got. And there's always more. There's always more. There's always more. That's what I love about it. I just enjoy what's next. What else can we add? And this new feature that just came out with StreamYard about sharing it to your social media platforms, that was the next. I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Another great, that's low-hanging fruit. That one's easy. We got that one. Great question.
You gotta be hungry, and it sounds like you're hungry for all the technology that's going to let you blanket everywhere and everyone, which is really what we're supposed to do since this is evergreen. I just do have one other question, and I'm wondering, for a person such as myself who would like to get into this live streaming thing, you really have sold me. This is really something worth taking a good, earnest look at. How would I actually be able to manage all the bells and whistles and know exactly, even to outsource it? How would I learn the bells and whistles so that I can move along and be hungry and move in this arena?
That's a great question. And that had come up so many times, Margot. I'd have my guests that would come on like you, but the ones that were scheduled and we'd come on and do the interview after the show's over, they would ask that question. How can I do this? Can you show me how to do what you do? And I always said, no, it's too much. It's like, it's so complex. Well, enough people said it and asked. And I used to teach from stage that you listen to the marketplace. If they're telling you they want something, you got to listen to them. And so after enough of them said, I said, okay, they're screaming. They're not just asking. So I spent a year and a half putting together a do-it-yourself type of follow the videos series of how to do everything. And when I was done, it came out to 60 videos. And we're not talking 2 to 3 minute videos. They were lengthy. Along with all of the artifacts and PDF files and all the downloads, I brought in a beta test group of people the ones that said they wanted it. I went back and looked and said, hey, I will give you free access to this. All I want is your feedback. The issue became not a single one, not one got past video number 10 out of 60. I could track it on my system. And I went back to them all and they all said, it's too much, even knowing every step. I said, yeah, bummer, a year and a half, but I learned a lot in the process. Later, I got great advice and a guy said, you should make it an agency model and do it for them. I said, huh. So that's what I'm doing now. It's just so dang much that myself and my team, I do have a team of VAs and a massive amount of automation that I've built over the years. I'm an automation freak. I'm a software engineer by trade. And so I put all this together so that anyone who wants to do a live video show, all they have to do literally is go into this studio 30 minutes prior to their show and have a chat with their guests 30 minutes prior, check a few things out. We have a checklist to go over. It's real simple. Click the go live, be the host, be present for them, for the guest. It's very guest centric. All of my teaching is about being there for the guests. And then when you're done, you're done. You don't have to do any editing. You don't have to do any downloading, nothing. You don't have to do any thank you emails. It's all part of the system. You don't have to do any upselling or giving them an opportunity to actually get more exposure by doing something else we've built into the system, giving them 20 video shorts that they can purchase. And then we do a rev share with our clients on that part. Anything that we get money on, we do a rev share with. So there is some money to go there. It's just very comprehensive. It is so involved, Margot. I used to do this myself 100% with very little automation, and I literally burned out. And that was with a partner. There were two of us. I couldn't do it anymore. And that was about 10 years ago. And I teach all this in my master class. That would be something you might want to give it a visit. Is a week from tomorrow, I'm doing my next one. It'll be number 27 or so. I've done these almost every month. And I go over a lot of these details and talk about reasons or certain things that people are doing now that they're focusing on, especially in podcasts and live video, that they think are going to be the thing that get them to monetize it. It's off the mark. Most of the people don't know the secret behind it. And I had a guest who came on my show who said it out loud, and I've always known it to be true for me anyway. And I was like, thank you. And he was a prominent guest. It's a long story, but they've got a very successful podcast running called the Sharkpreneur Podcast, based on Shark Tank, the show. Kevin Harrington, one of the original Sharks, is his partner in that podcast. So I interviewed him, he interviewed me, and I've got footage of him explaining the key ingredient to monetizing. And so all this stuff is included. It's 100% free and nothing's for sale. And I know everyone's like, no way, they're skeptical. I've never sold a thing on that masterclass. Not once, never offered anything, just value. So I put that in the links, but I'll put it up again just in case. It's ryp.im/masterclass. And yeah, it'd be awesome to have you come on, ask questions. I won't be on video like this with camera. It is live, but I want people to focus on the content, not on me. And yes, I do take Q&A toward the end as well. So it is interactive as well. And then I offer a boatload of gifts during it. And they're not just freebie little frilly gifts. They're very high value to help people get to the next step. But yeah, I would just say get started. If you want to do it on your own, I could certainly help give you the fundamentals, the key pieces to get started for sure. And one of the things I always like to tell people is, don't wait until you're perfect. Just get going. Just do it. There's never the right time to have a kid. There's never a right time for, life events, right? There's never a right time. When is now the right time? That's it right now.
Well, you're going to look up, I would definitely be in the master class. And when I listen to you, and I mean, all the people that you've interviewed and your body of knowledge, it's like, wow, I feel like I'm just a hobbyist with this live streaming thing. So I'll definitely be in the master class. Definitely.
Yeah. And you have the chops for doing the audio podcast. What is the name of your audio podcast?
Her business, her voice, her conversation.
Ooh-wee. Her business, her voice, her conversation.
Yes.
So everyone listening and or watching this, either live or after the fact, her business, her voice, her conversation. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's pretty good. I'm usually not good at remembering that stuff. Her business, her voice, her conversation. Look that up, subscribe to it, and give her a good rating. Are you on, I'm guessing, Apple, iTunes, or Apple, what do they call podcasts now?
Yeah, we are everywhere. Thank God we are everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think there's not many that allow reviews to be written about it, which is odd to me, even to this day, but Apple is the main go-to for most. And you can give her a 5-star rating and a 5-star review as well. And after you listen to an episode, of course, we want to make it integrity-based, but fantastic. How long have you been doing that? And how many episodes roughly have you dropped on that?
I quit my good job in 2016, and in 2017, at the age of 61 years old, I became a podcaster. and I've been doing it ever since.
God bless you. There is no way. You're not that old.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I'm a grandmother, a podcaster. I love life. I love speaking with you. And I know it was no accident. I'm usually never on LinkedIn at this time, but I thought, wow, this is interesting. Wait a minute, had on the sweatshirt, no makeup. I thought, I'm not letting this opportunity get past me. No, go for it,
Good
Because
Lord.
I love stuff like this. These are opportunities, and I don't know that I would have met you any other way.
Yeah. And that's what I love about what I get to do. And then when you do this and you make it strategic to where you bring on guests, where really the magic is not in the audience, it's not in the likes, the loves, the ratings, the stars, none of that. It literally, so that's why I tell everybody, make your show, no matter what format, if it's video or audio, always make it interview style. I think you mentioned that on occasion you do yourself solo and you do summary. There's nothing wrong with that. It's something you test and you see, is it resonating? This one, I normally have a guest. I came on a talking head solo. Look who I found, Margot Lovett. And I would not have found you had I not this not happened. So it's a blessing. You know, you look at things. This guy was, I'm going to bring him on the show. I was really excited. He's a podcasting expert. He has an entire agency that caters to podcasters to help them gain exposure and success. I interviewed one of his clients some time ago, who was an unbelievably awesome guy. And he introduced me to him, to the owner. And we were going to do our interview tonight. He lost internet in his whole area. And that's what happened to us several times. So that's another thing we teach is to be ready, have something in the can. Margot, I can only imagine you have so much experience and so many things you could teach. And, you know, storytelling is, I'm sure you're very aware and astute. Yeah, you're nodding already. Is one of the most powerful things on the planet, that people will really be drawn to you when you tell stories. They don't even have to be your own. I learned this from speaking on the stage. And you have a wonderful, I don't know why the word came to me, aura about you. You just have this light and energy. And you're telling me you have no makeup on? That's ridiculous.
No,
You look
I didn't have
fantastic.
time. I didn't have time.
Then I don't think you need it ever. It's funny. I always tell my wife the same thing. It's like, you literally don't need it. You're beautiful. I mean, I met her. Yeah, I won't go down that path, but she's my why. I love her to the moon and back. Yes, Margot, love it. Oh, you have Payshawn Allen. I don't know if I
Oh,
said her name.
Pishan Allen. Yes, we used to be on the same network. Oh
Ah,
my goodness, Pishan.
she's
She's a
sending me some.
podcaster also. Yes.
Yay. Oh, man. You know, it's already past our bedtime, but you know what? I'll go another 20 minutes. Payshawn, if you'd like to join us with Margot right
Come
here
on,
live,
Pishan.
yeah, come on in. Let's see, join show. I'll put it up again, and we'll just keep this chat going for a little while.
Yeah,
Let's
she's
see, there it is.
dynamic.
There it is. How do you pronounce her name?
Pishan.
Payshawn. So
Uh-huh.
Payshawn, there it is, ryp.im/join show. Not to put any pressure on you, but Margot did not put on any makeup. So if you don't have any on, there's no excuse. Come on. Come on. And I thought about that as I was, putting this out there for people to see, to come on. This was a strategy that used to be very successful. I would put it out to a StreamYard group. That's people that do this, that they're all live streamers like yours truly. And now they're moderating every comment that goes in prior to allowing it to go out. So I don't even think it's been released yet. I'm trying to do a last minute, hey, I had a no show. I used that like 3 times in the past when it wasn't moderated. And I'd get like 10 people saying, I want to be on. And I'd fill up the room. We would be full. It just have fun. Like tonight, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to talk about live video and have some fun. And here comes Margot Lovett, ladies and gentlemen. So,
Wow.
Payshawn, I hope you join us, ryp.im/join show. I'll commit to another, I'll go to the top of the hour. So we're both in California. That would be 7 p.m. Pacific. That'd be a record for me, a 2-hour show. And it's all
Wow.
because of Margot Lovett. And that's a great thing. That's fantastic. What else you got for me, Margot? This is fun.
You know what I'm thinking? I know that you have a boatload of stories to tell. And you made mention that they don't necessarily have to be stories just from you, but who was the most fascinating person that you had a conversation with thus far?
Les Brown. There's no doubt in that. the guy is from so many reasons, Margot, and it wasn't just because of what we said and did live. I actually crafted a special set of questions just for him, and I hit him deeper than most would, that would be willing to, that might think, oh my gosh, I might be asking too deep a question. He was awesome. He goes, oh, you ask good questions. And then we'd ask and he would answer it. But the cool thing was what happened before and after. And so I employ a strategy that gets me great guests to come on the show. It takes time for it to work. But after every show, I ask for 3 referrals. And so if you were a scheduled guest, that would happen. And you would just simply fill out a form and my automated system would do the invitation and follow up and all that. You're done. You just fill out the information. Well, I was interviewing a gentleman and I went through this. I gave during the debrief, told him about it. And he said, and I said, hey, if you can think of 3 people, don't worry about this email will come to you tomorrow. You fill it out then. He goes, you can think of 3 people that satisfy these 3 conditions. I pre-frame him. He's going to see it all in video form the next day anyway. But he says, so what kind of people are you looking for? And I thought, all right, here we go. I'll just say, I don't know, like Grant Cardone, Les Brown. He goes, wait a minute. Did you say Les Brown? I said, yeah. And he literally got his phone and dialed him right then and there. Wow. So it's a deep personal friend of his. They've been on the stage many times together all over the world. I had no idea. It made total sense because this guy was unbelievably gifted as a speaker, the one that I was interviewing. And so he literally got him on the phone. He put him on speaker and he's right next to the mic. Here's my mic. So the mic was down here and he didn't tell Les anyone was listening. And I'm like, I feel weird. This is not cool. The neat thing is when guys get together and they think they're alone, some guys will say stuff they shouldn't and act differently. If you probably know what I mean by that. And that was not the case with Les. Les was the exact same way I remembered when I met him in person about 10 years ago in a foyer of a hotel. Sweetheart of a man. Talking to a good friend of his, and this guy saying, hey, you should be on Brian's show. He's really, you think I should? Okay, give me his information. I'm like, oh, I got that voice. I love it. And so he said, okay, he'll be calling you. He'll be calling you here in just like 20 minutes. And I'm thinking, I know he lives in Florida at the time. I'm in California. It's, it's about this time at night. And it's almost 10 o'clock there. I'm like, no way is he going to just pick up the phone and call a stranger. So we got done with our debrief, and I kid you not, almost to the minute, my phone rings and it's Les Brown.
Wow.
And here I am about like a little schoolgirl running around. I'm just all excited. And, I'm literally up and running around like, oh my God, I'm talking to Les Brown. This is fantastic. And so anyway, we scheduled the show. And then after the show, I sent him some electronic gifts of things that he really loved. He called me back twice after that and basically said, if I ever need anything, I can use his name carte blanche, and just so trusting immediately. And what a great guy. And so it was not just what happened during the show. And that's what I'm finding with all of the shows. It's that you develop a relationship with these individuals. I train to talk to the person that's coming on the show 30 minutes, like we are right now before going live. And guess who's joining us? Oh my goodness, there she is. We're going to bring her on as soon as I change my background and get this so we can get her fit in. Pashawn Allen, how are you doing?
Hi, Margot.
Hello. What an opportunity. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. I was at the kitchen going, Joy, oh my God.
We're here with Brian Kelly. Can you believe it?
No, thank you so much, Margot and Brian. Wow. What an honor. I'm so humble. Thank you so much. I was like, I gotta join.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. Now, see, you two women are women that are on the move, that are going to succeed wildly beyond where you are today because you're action takers.
Wow, I received that.
Yes. I mean, Margot said she came on without makeup. I still don't believe her, but she said she did.
Let me retract that. A little bit of lipstick, that's it, and a yellow scarf.
But still, I'm telling you.
Margot is beautiful.
Yes.
She's so beautiful. And you're right. She does have an aura about her. She just brings a calmness and an ease. She walks into the room. It's beautiful.
She has the kindest eyes. It's like like you want to just dive in and go swimming. I'm telling you. Just beautiful person, both of you, Pashan. I mean, obviously, if Margot is a friend of yours, and I can tell right away you're an amazing person too, without even talking to you.
Thank you, Brian.
So, so blessed to have you both here. And what we've been talking about, you've heard some of it, Pashan, is live video versus, not versus, but in addition to, in conjunction with audio podcasting. And Margot's been asking some incredibly good questions about it, and offering some advice. Also, Margot, I'd love to hear, like, what have you found to be most successful in your podcasting over the years? What has worked best for you, say from a marketing standpoint, to help you get more traction or more business or whatever your end goal is?
I always wanted to be able to make impact with the guest. And I always tell people it's just you and me. And I'm totally right here. This is your stage. This is your time. This is your arena. So I never really cared about downloads and that type of thing when I left Verkay Bashani Radio and went on my own. I cared more about becoming a master of my craft and becoming a good interviewer, and really listening and paying attention and letting people just feel like, man, she heard me. She saw me. She asked some pretty doggone questions. And that's what I've always, that's my energy. That's what I always strive to do. I figure the rest will come, and probably if I go ahead and get the right coach, then they'll show me how to get downloads and that type of thing. But I'm always honing in on the content and making people feel like they're the only gem in the on the ring. They're the only that's it.
I love it. And I think you are on the right path, because it's not about the downloads. It's not about the likes and loves. It's not about the number of people that are listening to your podcast at the end. What it is about is the guest expert you had on. And if you focus 100% on them and make it about them, not about how do I make money from it, like you are doing, Margot, you're saying exactly what the gentleman said on my show, what I was telling you about earlier. And that is what they focus on, is the guest 100%. And so you get more strategic in who you have on your show to interview, because that guest could very well end up being your client. And, if you're doing this for a business purpose, as an example, if you're looking to add a coaching client, or if you have a product or service to offer them, then in the way I handle it and approach it is, I don't look at this as a transactional type of show or process even. I'm looking at it solely for building relationships. What will happen organically.
Yes.
It happens.
Right.
If I have something that solves a pain point of theirs, the know, like, and trust factor is already established once we've done the show. The hesitance and resistance gone, because you have the tightest relationship with an individual you never would have had otherwise. Have you been to seminars, networking events, and you go out in the hallway and you get a 5-minute chat with somebody? Do you really establish a connection, a deep connection? You don't.
No.
And you spend a lot of money to get there. You travel to the hotel, you might stay at the hotel, and your time and everything. With this, you get far greater quality engagement, a deeper involvement in that person's life. And I have made so many friends, lifelong friends, as a direct result of doing this show, because you focus on the guest, not on the likes, love, shares, and exposure on the end. So when people come on, they ask, some of them would say, they don't do this anymore. That's pretty cool. How many people do you get to watch you live every night? It's like, well, that's actually it varies. And that's the honest truth. It varies. It just depends on many factors. But the good news is we're not just live. It gets repurposed. You're going to get massive exposure. And on top of all that, we're not charging you a dime for all this. So I don't say that, but it's kind of inferred. But what about you, Pashan? What are you up to? Are you doing a podcast yourself?
I am. I do. Excuse me. I am doing a podcast, Women in Ministry on the Move. And my show is for all things women. I celebrate women and put them on my platform to highlight their ministry, their jobs. Even, I say the hardest job for a woman to me in the world is a stay-at-home mom. We don't get enough. I was a stay-at-home mom twice, but and went back to work in between having kids. And I told my husband, at least you get a lunch break and you can go to the bathroom alone,
Yes.
You don't
Yeah.
see a hand coming under the door, you know. So, money, you know. So, but you're right about the podcast. People are getting massive exposure for free. They're getting free marketing because why? We're doing the graphics, we're doing the flyers, or we outsource it just so we can have them come on and we cater to them and celebrate them. And then they get other doors that are opening for them and we get lifelong friendships. I've met more people on my podcast and still have long relationships with them even now. It's amazing. And just the sisterhood that we have, people think we've been knowing each other for years.
Yes.
And we're like, we met on a podcast. We
Yes.
met on Facebook. And when we talk about, they're like, what? Y'all just click like that? Yes, because like you said, Brian, the network turned into a relationship, a friendship. And it just, you know, anytime I say, hey, can you come on and sing gospel artist LaRue Howard? Oh, send me the information. If I have time, absolutely. And she did. And I just, oh my goodness. And so when she was having something, she invited me and I invited others just to support each other's events and ministries. It's just wonderful. And like you said, you meet so many people. And then I met Margot,
Yes.
you know, and I was like, oh my God, I love her, you know. So in Margot, her school, her podcast school to train you how to be better, how to speak. Come on, who wouldn't want that?
Oh yeah. There's so many things that go into it. You know, forming the question. Like I've been on others as a guest. Maybe you've done this or experienced this too, where they say, "Welcome to the show, Margot. So, what's the meaning of life?" You know, they don't give you any lead in to give you an idea where the question is going to come from. So that's like a trade. It's a craft, you know, to help lead people in, so it doesn't just smack them upside the head. If you're going to change the subject, let them know ahead of time by leading them into it. And there's all these little wonderful little nuances. And one thing I had to learn the hard way is to shut the heck up after I ask a question, you know, and not interrupt. Yeah, because especially on this, it sounds horrible when two people try to talk at the same time. You can't hear either one. And I'm like, oh, quiet, Brian. But there's so many cool things. I love every aspect of it. My favorite is speaking from stage in front of live people. That's been some time ago now, but I used to do that on a regular basis. I was a lead trainer for a company at one point for a seminar. It was a seminar type company, but it was a lot of fun. I learned so much. And this is a different dynamic. This is not quite at the same level of satisfaction as doing a live from stage, but it's pretty close. And I get to meet amazing people like you two. Oh man, this is awesome.
You too, Brian.
This is fantastic. And so Margot, we should connect again as well. You have all that production background, which I'm sure is very valuable to people that come to you to say, how do I do a podcast? And I know that can go over. I mean, you were on television as well, correct?
Just a little bit, mainly terrestrial radio. I had a terrestrial radio show on an AM station, but that was a lot of fun many years ago.
And were you the voice, a voice?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So you already know the fun of being live. And you have sponsors that you guys are dependent upon. So you have to be even better than what we're doing here, because I'm not worried about, what people think. That's the great thing about this, though. I will say your opinion is your opinion and no one else can do anything about it. And no one else has any control over what you can say, how you can say it, when you can say it, if you don't have a sponsor paying and saying, you can't say that if we're going to pay you money to be on your show, be a sponsor. Yeah. So it gives you that flexibility. Women in Ministry on the Move. What is that podcast all about?
It is about celebrating women from all walks of life, various backgrounds, to highlight their ministries, their jobs. And when I say ministries, I mean your ministry is your service, your work. So no matter what you do, if you work a 9 to 5, a 7 to 6, whatever, I want to highlight you. I want to celebrate you. If you have a business, I want to put you on my platform to talk about what it is that you do, how you serve your community, your family, your church, whatever it is that you do. And we talk about issues that pertain to women. We have some shows coming up that will deal with the medical field. things that women go through, like as they get older, you know what I'm saying, and how to adjust and how to adapt. How do you deal with depression? If you're going through menopause, if you're going through changing careers, it's not too late to change your career. I heard Margot say earlier, hey, at I'm not going to say her age because she's so gorgeous, I don't believe it either. When she said it, I said, what? You know, what? So it's never too late. To change your career. It depends on what's in your heart, your passion. And Michelle Yao said it. She said, never let someone else tell you you're past your prime.
Oh, goodness. That would be the worst thing to ever say to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. There's this concept known as retirement. I don't think it's mentioned anywhere in the Bible, not once. It was not something that we were designed for, in my opinion. I think as long as my heart's beating and as long as I'm able to help or serve someone else, I want to do what I'm doing right now. I want to keep going. And as long as I'm able and capable, I don't think at the age of 65, or 62, what is the retirement? I'm 58 now. I don't know when that time is, but it doesn't exist in my book. It's just keep going, keep living. There are so many inspirational people out there that are even much older than all three of us that are still going strong and doing phenomenal things and making an impact. So as long as my mental capacities are here, the physical, my goodness, I'm feeling all the physical. I'll tell you that. Whoo, baby. It's not, getting old is not for the weak of mind or heart, but it sure beats the alternative.
True that.
Yes. So that's awesome, Pashan. Do you have any thoughts or ideas of going into the live video sphere to add an extra layer to what you're doing?
Actually, yes, I do.
Okay.
We do some shows Facebook Live. If I have a women's conference, if the Lord says, okay, go ahead and do a women's conference, we invite speakers in and we'll do a Facebook Live and stream it to YouTube and Twitter and so forth. I would like to continue that and grow and get better at some things. My passion is radio. So I was listening to Margot. That's why podcasting is so attractive to me, because it reminds me of radio. I did radio broadcasting in the Army as well. And before it was called Armed Forces Network, and then we became gentler, kinder, and became American Forces Network. And so I loved it. I loved pulling the microphone, going, starting the music, and then say, hey, this is AFN correspondent Pashan Allen. You're listening to AFN, and we loved it, we loved it, and serving the troops and everything, being a veteran, and at the time being an NCO myself, but learning how to get the video aspect and become better at it. I would like that. Anything that because I consider myself a lifelong student. I always want to learn, always want to grow. To me, you've never arrived. Stay humble and continue to learn and grow. And so if I can learn, how to make podcasting, vlogging, videos, anything to make it flow and to teach others, I'm all ears.
So first and foremost, thank you for your service.
Oh,
I have nothing but mad respect for every serviceman and woman that's been in or that still is. Oh, nothing but. My dad was Air Force. I've never been myself, but I always make it a point to, if I see someone in uniform in an airport, in a restaurant, wherever, if I'm not interrupting what they're doing, I'll go up and thank them for their service because they deserve it. And I don't care if that person sat behind a desk. I don't know, and I don't care. They committed, not knowing where they would end up, many of them, if they might be on the front lines in Afghanistan or wherever the current conflict of the day is. And so I have just nothing but respect because they put forth that time in their life, like you did, for our country. And
absolutely,
so appreciate that.
Oh,
and then,
my pleasure.
Wouldn't it be sad if we did at one day arrive, like you said? I can't imagine that. It's like, wait, there's nothing else to look forward to then.
Wow, that's true. Yeah. Then you start to get bored because there's nothing else to learn and to grow and to develop into, because we're always changing.
Yes. And I think we were designed to not arrive until
Right.
we were called home. That's it.
That's
Like,
right.
keep going, keep
That-
going, and keep doing what you do, and keep being the light to the world that both of you are. Gosh, Margot, you are just like, your eyes, they're awesome. Just, oh yeah. And both of you are just amazing women, and you've just added so much happiness in my life to see you guys. You just jumped in. You just said, I'm going to get on. Margot has no makeup. Hashan just says, I'm going to get on. A lot of people don't do that.
He's sticking up like Don King. My husband was like, no. I said, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to they said, and he said, did she say your name? I said, yes. And I was running upstairs trying to brush and comb. I'm like, hey, next time I know, keep a hat handy,
And I love it that 2 women showed up and no men, because men don't have to do crap. They throw on a shirt and they're ready, right? I know, I am one. And so, like, where are you guys? Nobody's here. All right. These 2 ladies, they're the ones showing you how it's done.
Yes.
They're showing up, they're taking action, they're going after it. I appreciate you both for coming on. My goodness, this has been it's only an hour and a half show. I normally do an hour show, but once Margot came on and then you, Pashan, were coming in the wings and you guys knew each other, I thought, we got to have some fun. Let's go on longer. So
thank you so much, Margot and Brian. This has been an honor and a privilege. Wonderful.
Let's see. I put some research. I would like to keep this going and have each of you individually come on as a guest on my show, like a dedicated, guest. Absolutely. You both bring a lot to the table. And, I bring on what I call successful entrepreneurs from all over the world. And it's interesting what success means to the individual. I'm not going to give away something, a secret, because you'll learn it when you come on as my guest. But it means something different to everyone depending on where they are in their current walk in life. And
Yes.
it doesn't, so there is no one definition of success. When I say I bring on successful entrepreneurs, what does that mean? I don't know. What does it mean? I'd ask the other person. So you 2 personify to me success.
Oh, wow.
In so many ways. I mean, like I've said already, you just showed up. You don't know me. I didn't know you, but you didn't know me. And a lot of people would be a little bit shy and hesitant to do it. I mean, we've got Pashan wildly brushing her hair and Margot putting on the lipstick and the scarf and just bam. I mean, you guys are just here and not, just throwing it to the wind. I don't care if I made up and look perfect like I like to be. And you just did it. And again, no man did it. Not a single guy. Guys, come on, step up next time. Where are you? Let's see. Do we have no more comments coming in at the moment? So okay, I'll do this. I normally close out with a great question or something, but what I want to do is give you each a turn. And so the first one is going to be the one that's going to go, oh crap, don't pick me first. So one of the things I like to end shows with is a final parting word of advice from the guest. And so in your case, what I like to do is whatever comes to your mind, what would be the one piece of advice you would give a budding business person, man or woman, entrepreneur, whether they're just starting out or they're already in the trenches, but still struggling to break through, finally get to that point they want the success. And it doesn't have to be monetary. It's just, I want to reach a certain goal. We've been on this planet long enough. We've all encountered these moments, I'm sure, ourselves, and broken through, whether they're small successes or large successes in our own mind. But from your life experience, each of you in turn, will start with Pashan. If you could give us one great, and it will be great, piece of advice, and not us, but the audience. Mm-hmm. What would you say to that person that is just struggling and trying to break through and can't seem to figure it out and wondering what to do next? What would that piece of advice that comes to your mind right away, what would that be with you, Pashan?
Find your why. Find your why. Why do you want to do it? And stick to that. You can always evolve. That's going to always change. Why did I want to do a podcast? Why do you want to open a restaurant? Why do you want to open a business? Find your why and write your vision statement. Write the vision and make it plain. And then write everything out, be organized, and then get people who are on your side, who are for you, who are with you, who are going to help you build. Don't get people who are going to take away from you. Don't get a liability. Get people who are going to add to you and help you to grow, and have the patience of Job.
Mm.
Go one step at a time and continue at it, and believe in yourself. Trust yourself. Every day it's not going to be sunny. It's going to rain. You need the rain. You need the thunderstorms to grow. But then you get back up and you keep at it. You keep going, because that's what Disney did. Mr. Walt Disney, he failed many times. That's what Hershey did. And now we love chocolate. Give me Hershey bar with almonds, or plain, or dark chocolate. Keep going. Remember your why. Once you find it, once you find your purpose, and be intentional. Be intentional and consistent about your dreams, your visions, and go after it. Put the action behind it and continue at it. And soon, one day, you're going to have your own Walt Disney World.
Wow, Margot, that's going to be a lot to live up to there. That was pretty doggone phenomenal. I mean, shoot, find your why, powerful in and of itself. That could have been it. Then be patient like Job. And then I wrote down persistence and intentional. Keep after it. Don't give up is what I got from that. So all three very powerful and very value-based, because those are all usable traits and tips for everybody. From all the successful people I've interviewed, those are very common traits, and I appreciate that coming from you. I love Be Intentional by Jamie Basnight.
Oh,
Thank
hi,
you.
Jamie.
I love them all, but yes, we are. That's phenomenal. So, Margot, I'm delaying on purpose to give you some time, because I'm sure you're going, how do I live up to that? That was freaking awesome. I'm sure you have something phenomenal too, Margot. So if you were to give a piece of advice to someone who's trying to break through that, whatever ceiling that they're butting their head up against, what would it be for you?
Yeah, the first thing that came to my mind was the fact that you just have to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself, throw all bets on yourself, and do not take those bets back. Because when you throw all bets on yourself, that is going to help with your confidence. And confidence make or break everything. And in the end, the second thing to do is you can't do this. You can't build a company by yourself. You can't even podcast and by yourself. You have to connect yourself, invest in a coach, a mastermind, someone who is doing exactly what you want to do. They've already done it. The proof is in the pudding. They have a digital or print footprint. It's something that you can trace, that you can track, and you follow their breadcrumbs. But it begins with you throwing all bets on yourself. I can do this. Do I know everything? No, I don't. Will I ever know everything? No, I'll be a lifelong student. I come to this arena with a growth mindset, but doggone it, I'm hooking my wagon to so and so, Brother Bedford or Les Brown, the person who has done much more than you've done, but you're moving in that direction. Those are the two things that come to my mind.
Oh, I love those as well. My goodness, invest in yourself. And my notepad went away. And oh my gosh, that it brings about confidence. That was the result for investing in yourself. And that was very powerful as well. That is the thing I found in business, is if you lack confidence in what you're offering or in yourself in the entire sales process, you're going to be struggling for a long time. And what you said there is so profound. Invest in yourself, put in the time, put in the resources, invest in, and you just said it. The second part was, you can't build a company by yourself. Get into masterminds and a coach, invest, put some money forth, and get the help of somebody who's been there before you. There's no sense in reinventing the wheel. It's been done so many times. The ego is what's causing most of us not to reach where we want to get as fast as we can. If we just strip the ego and say, help, and raise our hand, then you get there much faster. It's something I learned the hard way as well. But once I learned, it's like, holy smokes. And even additionally, I would say also get more help as far as get a staff, a VA. They don't cost that much, and have them do the mundane. For them, it's an incredible blessing to make the money they make, no matter what kind of job they're doing. But there are leadership skills you can acquire as well to make that not as arduous as it might seem on the surface for them. And I just love every aspect of business, and I love every aspect of Margot and Pashan too. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you both. I do need to call it a night at some point before, I don't know how long we can go. I've never gone this long. I know it can go a lot longer, but I appreciate you both. And definitely, if you can stay on while the closing credits finish, we'll do a quick debrief, because I do want to get your information to reach out to you, if you're okay with that, and take this to the next level. You guys, I commend you. I'm blessed to have you now in my life. You know, they say you can choose your family, but you can't choose your friends. Well, you two are in trouble now because you're now family.
Oh,
Thank you, Brian.
You're stuck. You're stuck. That's it. You can't get away. I love it.
Brian. Thank you, Margot. Margot, you already know.
Thank you, Brian, for doing what you do, because were you not present, we would not be here. This is huge.
Thank you for your kindness. Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you both. You are. This is fun. This is like a love fest. This is awesome. Better get up before my wife comes in, right? No, I'm just kidding. So, oh no, she would come in here and say, join the club. This would be fun. All right. Well, that is it. On behalf of these amazing young ladies, Margot Lovett and Pashan Allen, I am the host of the Mind Body Business Show. I am Brian Kelly, and I will see you again next week with another amazing guest. We're only going to have one next time. I know it pales in comparison to these two, but we'll see you again next week. Until then, please, everyone, do at least two things. One, go and serve someone and lift them up and give them something of value that they can use to crush it in life. And number two, above all else, please be blessed. That is it for tonight. So long, everybody. We'll take care. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.